You up and along with that? We're up and broadcasting, streaming live on YouTube. So what you say is going out throughout.
I can show you Steve now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the receipts.
Okay, perfect.
These front ones are from Sherman Williams or Stamp.
Okay.
Or these in here, I don't know. Let me show you here if you want to right.
Well, that's what we'll do. We can let the board look through that afterward, and then we'll take care of it from there.
Okay.
Then I'll get that back to you, or we'll get it to you at the end of the night.
Alright.
Alright?
Sounds good.
Alright, perfect.
Right, and I think I gave that language, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I just wanted to write it, that's the language I gave.
I'm shocked. I didn't even know you were gonna go there.
You make about the, I want to say, 5th Eagle Scout project in the last maybe 30 years at the playground, ranging from redoing the flag and monument area to, as I recall, painting the main pavilion. There's been, a number of good scouts that have helped out.
What encouraged him to do this?
There's something to be said for scouting, generally speaking, and the township has done what we could do in the past. I think you found the experience overall bearable and productive. May not be what you want to do. May not be what you want to do every weekend, but
It was just cool to see what it looked like when it started to the finish.
At the pavilion. I didn't get here last time.
I wasn't actually feeling what I was thinking. It should actually be here, and
So-
that's what matters. That's all I was saying.
Early on, I was there, well, attended meetings, still attended meetings. And then once I got burned, lunch was saying to somebody, I don't think you need to show up in the planning board.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you wanna do.
Oh, I was gonna be here regardless, I just didn't know if it was a big deal, but it was.
No, I think as long as somebody represents the planning board.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I was 3 meetings. I gave that to you before, but we're getting to that point.
Paula, were there any changes to the agenda handed to us a few minutes ago from what was emailed to us?
Just the extra, includes the extras, the 2 resolutions.
Just the asterisks?
Extras, that 2 resolutions. That's all.
Right. And then make the new. Yeah, okay. So that's the only thing. Are you just at work? No, you have to show. Are you at the shoulder? Good for you. No, he's at those six. Oh, so you get sleep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but right there.
They're married to our house last week, so I'm all right.
You here? Is he here somewhere?
Yeah.
Well, he's got 1 minute. Peek your head around the corner and get Scott standing out there.
He was here, yeah. He's got 3 minutes, he's got 3 minutes.
No, he's got 1 minute. That has 0 minutes.
According to what?
The salary time.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. All right, we will call the Robeson Township for February 18th to order, 7 o'clock. We'll do a pledge of allegiance and moment of silence for all military personnel. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Here. All right, is there any citizens' concerns this evening? Name and address, please.
My name is Josh Polk, 1365 Old Grove Road. I'm the Vice President of Alarm Tech Systems. I heard the concerns last week during the meeting about the camera system at the Township building. I just wanted to come in and discuss that. We had met with 2 previous townships who had the same concern. We met with both of their lawyers and the main office of Hike Vision, sat down with a discussion and came to the conclusion that the only real concern is at the federal government building level with military high-grade technology that could be concerned for hacking. At the municipal level, it is not a concern, so that's why it was not brought to the Township of Robeson as a concern, because it was deemed not to be a concern at the municipal level. I'd also just like to note that the owner of Alarm Tech is a Robeson Township resident, and we do employ over 10 employees that currently live in Robeson Township. We've done the work at the Township building for the last 20-ish years, both fire extinguishers, security card access, And we would love to continue our relationship with you if that would be something you'd be willing to explore.
Any comments on that?
Mr. Folk, had anyone from the township reached out to your company in the last couple of months?
No.
Folks, what we've done, what we're attempting to do here is, by sending out requests for proposals, we're asking all our vendors to respond to certain specifications that we do. And as a result of that process, at least by my feeling in particular, that we needed to hold the line on our expenses and our costs, and we needed to update certain things. That's what the process is, hopefully doing. And as a result of that, I think we did, how shall I say, get a better deal on a lot of things.
We're also looking individually at everything to determine if there's something that should stay or should go. So we haven't really finished anything. We're just investigating things to see what's best for the community.
Okay, thank you.
There was another concern, Mr. Chairman. I received a number of calls, very interesting calls to both my home and my office with respect to my vote on Thursday on this disaster package relative to the salt shortage. And with a level of interest in that, I asked our solicitor prior to that whether we had received any advice on that. And one of the concerns that I had, and I'm reading from 35 Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes, a local emergency arising wholly or substantially out of a resource shortage may be declared only by the governor.
Are you here to help or to cause us more aggravation?
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, does anybody have a comment on that?
I noticed the Berks County did one too. And
Yeah.
if it's irrelevant and it needs to be from the state, it's not gonna hurt.
If this board doesn't have the authority to do something, and by delegating, again, like we've had a history of doing, it's not in the best interest of the township.
Well,
When we have those calls to my house, followed up by, we have a chief of police, we have our police saying, we can no longer protect our residents because of the shortage. We can't go into residential districts, just main roads. That was the gist of what we said when we have a
Did you actually
shortage.
say such a
I
thing?
think we're taking that a little too far.
you need to,
I
you're the one who
don't
gets
think so
involved.
at all. I don't think
Explain
so
that,
at all.
why are
The
you the
bottom-
only person who gets
The
involved?
bottom line is,
Roads may not be treated, didn't mean that no one's responding or helping them or.
no one said, Scott, that our
You just said it.
firefighters will go anywhere. I have
You
confidence.
just said PD stated
I
that those
said
people were
there
in
was
risk, at
information
risk.
circulating that we weren't, as a township, going to be able to salt all the side roads.
No, you just said PD stated that the citizens were at risk.
When we don't have adequate
Go
salt
replay your
supplies,
lovely
the
video.
citizens are at risk,
Yeah, go
period.
back and look at what you said. And everybody else should be calling us too then, not just you, you're not special.
Any other citizen concerns? All right, Rich, correspondence?
Yeah, the only correspondence we have is the DEP letter regarding Charles Glass subdivision, which is included in the updated pack.
Good evening, board. First thing on my list I have is to discuss the taser purchase if we have new information. I did not receive the new quotes from Axon yet, so we're still waiting on that. Hopefully they get it to us soon. The next one was the locker room, up for discussion again. I did reach out to a couple of local contractors, and I'm gonna try to find some more local contractors, see if they can come in this week and possibly give us a quote on building us a locker room.
You'll send us information if you get it along the week.
Yeah, as soon as I get it all,
That's great.
I'll
Thank
forward it
you.
over to you guys, I'll email it to you guys. The last thing I have on my list is to discuss the Animal Rescue League MOU for the small townships. I emailed this to the board and the township manager. I don't know if this would be interest to you. There is no cost associated with it. To start it up, just to sign the MOU, it's $200 per dog that they would come, strays. If they come and pick them up for us, it would be another additional $100 fee. Animal Rescue League is very close to the border of our township. I believe we could drop them off if we have it, and they'd be able to take care of them for us. 15-dog limit. If we would reach that limit, we would have to call Ashley and discuss what it would cost us then.
At 15 a year?
A year.
I think we kind of need.
What do you see in a year off the top of your head?
About 7.
Honestly, when utilizing social media and Facebook, most of the time we're getting the dogs back. I can remember one incident, and it was actually at Mr. Bittler's house, that dog was in very, very bad shape. He contacted us, we contacted Animal Rescue League together. They accepted that dog for us because of how bad shape it was in. I don't think this is a bad idea personally. It's not costing us anything unless we use it. And if we do have a dog that, just say 12 hours comes by, 24 hours, whatever we choose to make it, and we can't figure something out, at least they'll be there to take care of it. It's gonna cost us
48 is the max we're allowed to hold a dog.
Right,
We can't have a dog for more than 48. So after, like 36 hours, we have to make a decision to put the dog somewhere where a rescue's allowed to hold it long term. So that's, and there's only, I think, been one situation in all these years that I even remember that happening. But you also have people who will, once they know that, we will find more dogs dumped here, because that's how it was before.
Well, it can't come third party, it has to come from the designated Robeson Township.
Well, one of the issues.
No, I mean they'll bring dogs here from the city and drop them off.
One of the issues
We have
with
pit bulls.
respect to the information you gave us and the charges of that, it seems odd to me that the borough of Birdsboro would be charged less than us. So I would imagine there might be some room for perhaps discussions on how they did that. We also have a dog ordinance that calls for certain penalties. And also, it's combined with or references a feral cat ordinance that are relatively new. In your year-end report, I didn't see any distinguishing between anything related to the animals. Has this township fined people with dogs running at large, particularly repeat offenders?
Yes, I have. I believe they actually cited 1 or 2 this past week as well.
Do you believe that that's helped the situation, or is it just?
Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. So when I saw the email about that, I actually asked Jason at a fire call that we were both on that same note, if you had a dog more than 48 hours past, we used this program, charged $200. We got charged $200. Is in that ordinance, or is there a way that we could attempt to, I don't want to use the word cite, but I guess that would be the word, restitution from the owner to attempt to get our $200 back? If we do not,
Well, I think that would allow that here, Scott, to answer your question.
I think it is. That was just, and listen, you're not gonna get 100% restitution, I don't think. But again, are we talking 5 times a year? It's,
The dog that
we deal with a lot of dogs, like I said, a lot of the dogs we can get back to the owners.
right, and that's the thing, is that if we're dealing with a resident who maybe was away for the whole day, thought the neighbor kid was checking the dog ran away, and that's how we got here, I think we can support our residents by making sure the dog is taken care of.
Yeah, one thing I can tell you is under the dog law, I've looked at this issue, section 302. The owner is required to pay a penalty to the political subdivision whose police officers seize the dog, take the dog, and all reasonable expenses incurred by reason of its detention before the dog is returned. So, yes, it seems like that would be a reasonable cost.
But the people who don't pick up for more than that 24 to 48 hours are also people who are ditching their pets, which, unfortunate and sad as it may be, that's basically what you're dealing with. And then Zoe's house, if we needed somewhere to go, so some of them are actually free too. So it just depends on what the needs are at the time.
Yeah, I have no problem if we spend $200 to make sure a dog finds a safe haven, finds a new family, if that's what it becomes, rather than just let it be.
Well, the dog that the officer was referring to showed up in my farm building, and that was not a request by me for any kind of special treatment from our police officers. However, they did respond and they assessed the situation. The dog was in a horrible condition. Suffice it to say that the officers genuinely showed concern and care, and the way they handled the dog was admirable. I believe we should limit our police involvement. They should be doing other things than dog control. However, there are occasions when that happens. The end run of that dog situation was, it was nursed back and kind of fostered for a while at the director of the Animal Rescue League or a position of authority. And, I mean, it basically saved the dog's life. And it looked like it was pretty rough, did it not, Chief?
It was very rough.
So is this something you wanna deal with this evening, or we gonna wait till March to get the verbiage okay, or?
Well, if he signs up, it doesn't matter as long as we don't take any dogs there for more than 48 hours, we're not getting charged anything, right?
But if you sign it, you sign to agree to that amount.
But
I
I'd like
think,
to try
I agree with you. If
I'd like to
boroughs-
negotiate something slightly
We're,
different.
we're closer to them than the borough, why are they cheaper?
I
They
don't,
have more population, more dogs, more opportunity.
But that's surprising because it's charged by zones and the closest in zones are charged less for the transport than the furthest out zone, so that is
Yeah,
unusual.
I'd like to see if they can
I
work
can
that
call
number.
Ashley tomorrow.
What's the difference, do you know the difference?
it's
between
$50 or it's
It's
$100
it goes-
different?
Yeah, it goes up $50 each time. It goes
Like,
up
what's
to-
Birdsboro?
Birdsboro is 50.
And we're, what, 100?
We're 100, yes. Some of the things that, like Temple is 50. But did Temple have an agreement prior with the Animal Rescue League when no one else did?
Sure,
That's a
because
very
they
good
were charging their
possibility.
people, it would've cost us 15,000.
I don't think one more month's gonna hurt to work with them, have a conversation about that number.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we wanna discuss with them in there that nobody likes?
What's the cost?
The only thing I'd add to
Actually, yeah,
this
it's
is,
it's just the
I did-
cost of knowing that it's painful. You know, I don't wanna get back in with a contract with them when they wanted
Wait, so
15,000.
it's $200 to take the dog, or the animal, I'm sorry, and then it's 100 if they pick it up.
If they pick it up.
Right.
So we're still at 200, okay.
we did talk to the insurance company as well. She was out last week after a meeting, so I did speak with her today. She's gonna be in touch with the actuaries to determine if there's any kind of implications for our premium.
What would be her name?
That's Justine,
There shouldn't be because it's a legal duty of
Correct.
police officers.
we don't believe it is, but
Yeah.
we wanna do our due diligence on it.
Hey, at one time we had access to scanners. Do we still have the ability to read the chip dog?
Yes, we do.
You
Yeah.
do? Okay.
Then we'll get some information for next month then. Anything else?
That's all I have, Ward, thank you.
Rich, finance.
All right, finance, monthly expenses, treasury reports, or agent report are in your packets for your review and approval.
Would like to make a motion to approve the monthly expenses, treasurer's report, and sewer agent report.
Sure, I'll make that motion, Chris. That are in front.
And then also roll call to join,
Yes.
Mr. Gallo, Mr. Bitler,
Vote no.
yes.
All right, thank you, Board. All right, moving to the manager's comments. Actually, A and B can be combined. The advertisement for the RFP for the CPA auditor actually did close last week for public bidding and opened for you for review. That is available to you on pen bid, and of course, the others were already present for you at that point in time. So I didn't know what the board wanted to do as far as discussions this evening relative to those RFPs that were put out.
Any comments on it, or do that next month?
Yeah. Yeah, we can go back and, yeah. Especially if we just got it.
Are we down to C, are we down to the main, hold on, Harold.
Number 7.
Yeah, I have a question about the sewer agent report. There's 10 delinquent users on there that have exceeded the $500 limit. Have we made any effort to lead them?
Your office is on that.
Yeah, our office,
They've been doing that.
any properties that we are told to lien when they've exceeded the threshold, have been liened and copies are provided, to your office, to the township office.
30-day letter first, and then the
Yep.
lease put in place.
It's been-
So that you guys.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
they're coming through.
All right, so we're at C. Are you down to the main event, letter C?
All right, so, Mr. Cool, what I wanted to, first off, this great young man, as you know, did a fantastic Eagle project out in our township. Please stand up, Joe. I want to make sure you're recognized for that. I have with me tonight his Eagle Scout rank application along with the packet. I'd like each of you to just take a couple of moments to look through. There's some pictures in the back of all the work that he did. And then we also have a resolution for you this evening, which I would actually like to read, thanking him for the work that he did out there. So with your permission, board, I'll pass that along, take a look at pictures are in the back.
I'll share.
Now, it took you basically how long from the time you said, I'm gonna do this Eagle? Not this project, generally speaking.
Like when I said I wanted to start?
Yes.
So I initially wanted to start a lot longer before when I got permission here, but a lot of procrastination went on by myself.
Okay.
So, but I did start when you guys asked me to start, which was, I think, was that following weekend.
I mean, backing up a second, when did you say I want to become an Eagle Scout?
Oh, so I was actually a second class scout for I think about 2 years, and my mom signed me up to go to a leadership course, which I had to be first class, which is the next rank. So that kind of forced me to work to get to first class, and then from there I realized maybe I should probably do something about this. Plus, it'd be really nice to be an Eagle Scout. It means a lot to me, my family. Every one of my brothers have done it, so.
Uh-oh.
Got good examples.
You had to go on then.
Yeah.
Or face the.
All right,
All right, very good.
Nice, thank you.
So with that, I'd like to actually read this evening. I think it'd be important, Joe, to recognize you in front of our residents as well as the board. The Board of Supervisors of Robeson Township hereby acknowledges the milestone of completing a key aspect on your trail, the rank of Eagle Scout, your Eagle Scout project. The work that you have completed on the snack stand and dugouts will provide lasting impact to our youth, enjoyment to our youth, in adult leagues for many years to come. Your dedication in achieving this milestone will provide you with a solid foundation as you work towards your future life goals. The Board of Supervisors congratulates you on your achievement and wishes you well in your future endeavors. So again, thank you, Joe, for everything.
So what are you doing this year?
This year.
I mean, for, you got any other projects for us?
If you stick along with the venturing program, you can always work on that Summit Award. We got another project on down the line.
I still gotta sign up.
You know how to build police locker rooms.
All right.
All right, what resolution number would that be?
That would be, excuse me, one moment. That will be resolution number 06, correct. So I have a motion from the board to approve that resolution this evening.
Make that motion.
Second?
Roll call, Mrs. Joy?
Yes.
Mr. Gallow?
Yes.
Mr. Bitler?
Yes.
I'll go ahead.
Thank you, board, very much. All right, the next one on here, this is actually a motion to approve a resolution for a 457 plan implementation. That resolution goes along with the motion already made by the board to approve us adopting the 457 plan for township employees. I have the resolution here with me this evening. It would be resolution 2025-07.
Mr. Howe, for a couple of the people out there who may not be familiar with the 457 plan, can you just give a brief synopsis?
Sure. Thank you, sir. So what a 457 plan is, it's a retirement plan. It's an option that we are providing to our township employees. It is an employee contribution plan in our particular case. Different ones are structured in different ways. The idea behind this was to give a number of our employees who have already experienced a 457 plan working for different townships and municipal government to have an option to add to their retirement plans. And so we've gone with Nationwide, who will be our service provider through that. And again, it's also an option. What's nice about the 457 plans, there's an option to withdraw prior to any retirement investment in case it's needed for some reason. That's one thing they can do without penalty. So there are some advantages to that. Again, this will be an employee contribution plan, and so I think it'll be a great benefit to our police. It's across the board for all our employees, to include our part-time employees are eligible.
All right, anyone like to make a motion to approve resolution 25-07?
Yes. I make the motion to approve resolution 25-07 for the 457 plan.
Yeah, second.
I'll second.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy?
Yes.
Mr. Gallow?
Yes.
Mr. Bitler?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Okay, thank you, board. All right, next one here is the retaining dogs, the insurance implications. Again, I've reached out to the insurance company. We'll provide you with an answer as soon as we have that. I'll put that out to the board via email. Sir, you were asking me for the letter of engagement. I didn't even reach out to the law firm. I did not find one in our files, so I reached out to them and I did provide you with the letter of engagement per your request.
Letter of engagement was for conflicts counsel with respect to the negotiations between our sewer authority, municipal authority, and our board. And we needed each to get our own counsel for that, which I'll have a little more to say in a moment.
All right, and then G, I believe we already brought that up for discussion. Do we want to have any further discussion on that for this time? No? Okay. Supervisor reports, for those who were not in attendance at the last meeting, we've added a category of supervisor reports. These are projects the supervisors are working on. I know that Supervisor Rhodes is not here this evening, but he's been working on the S&P database. If I recall from last meeting, he's about 2 weeks out from an initial production that the board and myself as the manager will be able to review, and then we can go from there.
Richard, before we move on from that, what was the last time we sent out whatever cycle we would do?
So we're going to eliminate the cycles in this?
No, I mean, when was the last time? I'm not worried about.
I got something recently, probably in the last few months.
Yeah, it's probably right at the end of the year.
Paid it probably end of the year, November, December or something.
So you would have been, do you know what cycle you were?
I've done it twice, whatever that means.
Means 6 years. The reason, folks, this has to do with pumping your septic systems. This board is under some direction, if you will, some requirement from, I'll say, higher authorities, that we have a plan and we implement it. And I think it was generally well intentioned, but it has caused quite a bit of concern and angst, if you will, with certain of the township residents. We have provisions in that to kind of address some of that, but it's still not satisfactory to some.
Yeah, so hopefully his little SMP database gets that taken care of.
Yeah, we're getting there. Everybody's got their stuff pumped. You get a notice in the mail.
Well, there's been some real refusals, out and out refusals and reluctance
But
to
there's
do that.
nothing short of finding somebody for not doing it or having back up on them. I mean, everybody's gotta make a choice. We can't.
Well, not everybody has to make a choice. The law is the law, and we've got to treat people fairly.
Again.
And similarly situated have to be brought into the program. It's not an option.
I've had that conversation with a few people around me, whatever vendor they used actually told them, don't send it in. Wait till the municipality comes to you. It's not a good approach, but I think they're being tainted by that.
Well, we have a list of those pumpers. I'd be curious.
I don't know who.
My pumper gave me the form and.
Correct. Mine gave it to me and said this must be turned in.
With $25.
Correct. But I have heard through this conversation that there's one saying, just sit on it, don't waste your money. So.
Okay.
He might not be pumping in the township when we find that out. I would remove that individual from our list of pumpers.
A lot easier to say something to them hear it rather than just go be nasty.
Next on the list is our teammate, Lise.
Okay, as I indicated, I would reach out to our conflicts counsel, and I did that. I was a little surprised, Chris, to find out that you had also contacted him.
No, he contacted me.
Okay, I was surprised that he would have that discussion with the whole conflict in place. So I'll say caution you on that, or caution this board. What I reviewed with him was that I was acting as a liaison, and I report to our board, and we talked particularly about debt and financing issues, and I told him I was not thrilled with the proposal that was made prior to us getting conflicts counsel. That was made by Ms. London, and I really just didn't like that one, period. My suggestion is that we, at some point, and what next we get better, if it is in fact better, we look at that and then go from there. So I'm expecting I'm going to say simpler version or a simpler lease for our input. I did not get a time frame with him. That discussion occurred on February 14th. So I'll be back in touch with the board ASAP.
Anything else about Zoom?
No, I just have to get crossed and any legal issues. And just like the newsletter, I have to go back and contact them so that we can start seeing what we can do with it. Cause they'll go to all the people around here, and see if anybody's interested to do advertising, so they'll start in the community first. So I will contact them.
And nothing else on the solar at this point? I don't know, we want to discuss F, I know you brought it up on Thursday, Joy.
Yeah. I brought it up because you want to sit down and look at it. Everybody got theirs, now, do we wanna do something with it, do we wanna look at it more in depth?
Any comments?
You said something, right?
No,
No, F is the.
That's your one.
Oh, okay.
F is the one meeting a month, yeah, I said nothing else for solar.
You skipped nothing on the, okay, nothing on the solar.
What's the thought on the one meeting a month?
Well, the reason to go to one meeting a month is we're going to we have 2 meetings a month, which originally we started out a couple years ago, because we thought it would help us to get more things accomplished. However, it doesn't. You just go over the same things that you went over on Thursday that we're going over again on Tuesday. And it really didn't provide a whole lot of relief. And everybody has a hard enough time getting here once a month, let alone twice a month. So it was just a thought of it saves money, allows everybody to kind of have another night back home with their families, and it's not costing us anything to say no. If I thought it benefited, I wouldn't even ask.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, I think the board would know my position
We
and,
always know.
excuse me?
No, actually, I don't know, would you be a twice?
No,
Oh, it would be no, we have to sit
Well,
in
then,
front
well,
of the
then, well,
TV.
then, I don't know actually which way you would think.
Well, there's a lot that we get done at those meetings, notwithstanding what my colleague might want to indicate. There's times where we can expedite some things, there's times where we don't have time till the next meeting to grant an extension for a subdivision, things like that. And the fact that we haven't always been as progressive, I feel, or as productive perhaps, is partly related to our management turnover. You know, our lack of information. For those of you who follow along on our agenda, when it's not on the agenda, it becomes a race to get done. So we have 2 meetings, we need 2 meetings, we've had 2 meetings for a long time, and it just needs to be made more productive, period.
Scott, what do you think?
I was gonna ask you, what do you think?
I think it's both, I mean, it's, I see positive both ways.
Right.
One, like if citizens actually come Thursday and they have a concern that we don't have the answer, we can give it to them on Thursday.
Right.
So that's a pro there. Originally, when, like, you know, I don't know how many years ago, it was a 2 meeting thing, it was always the workshop, you were really supposed to discuss everything, then think about it for the next bunch of days, and then come back on Tuesday, and then whatever. We kind of do a mishmash of it, so that's where the 1 meeting a month would make sense, but then you don't get the benefit of something on Thursday that can be followed up on Tuesday.
Or something that you're pushing off till the next month because you can't get to
Yeah,
it,
because then if you only have
because
one
there's not
meeting,
enough time.
then if you have only
Right.
1 meeting, then you don't have to back
Everybody's,
up.
well, everybody's not scrambling to get answers for something.
If there won't be a Thursday to follow up on Tuesday, if you just have Tuesday, then the follow-up is the next month.
Right.
But I can see it both ways.
So I'm pretty much same
If
same
there's
on that.
emergency, it's different.
I think there's a lot of times where it's nice to have called business days, Friday and Monday, and most of the day Tuesday to get answers. You don't have to wait 30 more days or whatever. I also see the point that I feel like we're just monotonous. We talk about it Thursday, we talk about it Tuesday.
Yes.
I think we probably do that more than resolve things.
Correct.
I'm really torn on it, to be honest.
So we'll keep it for 2 for now. Alright, this will go to fire companies, Brody.
Don't think we have anything. We have our Easter egg hunt coming up in April. There's nothing in March, is there? Breakfast. Yeah, breakfast in March. We've been busy. Keeping busy.
And Brody, you said you didn't have anything with the EMC side, or we had a chat.
No, yeah, you and I talked about the salt thing. You had already got the forms filled out. I also sat through that Zoom meeting for the continuity of government during a disaster. From what I was told, Scott and Jeff sat through it last year. It was the same exact topic as last year.
Who put that on, just out of curiosity?
It was up at DES building.
DES.
Are you getting the monthly meeting updates?
I am now,
Class
yes.
offerings?
Yes,
Okay.
I think you guys know, I had Rich take over the EMC email, and now it forwards to Galen and I, instead of just going to Galen, because it wasn't being forwarded from Galen to anybody else.
So make sure you're getting all the dates and monthly meetings.
Yes, I believe I am.
Yeah, I appreciate Scott, I believe you jumped in on that and we pointed in the right direction with that with Mr. Kesey, so we're gonna resolve it.
All right, nothing else? All right, thank you. All right, Rich, you got medicine reports, I guess.
In your packet for your review and approval, see?
Anyone like to make a motion to accept the minutes and reports in our possession?
I will make the motion for what's in our position.
I will second it.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy, Mr. Gallow,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler,
You vote no.
I'll vote yes. All right, engineering, engineer review. Good evening, board. The first two items under my section of the agenda, you had granted the ability to be added for this meeting. This is dealing with the Chestnut Hill project that's out near Mountaineer Village, near the township line with Carnarvon Township. This is a 7-lot industrial type development. It was last before you 2 months ago when we discussed on-lot sewage and a private fire suppression system and a private roadway. These plans were back before your planning commission. I know that Jan Miller, now of McCarthy Engineering, is here to represent them. The planning commission did recommend conditional preliminary plan approval for the Chestnut Hill subdivision plan, which is the subdivision creating the 7 lots, and also the land development plan for Chestnut Hill Lot 1, which is the land development plan, obviously for the first lot in the development. They recommended that conditioned upon the remaining comments in our January 31, 2025 letter. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I don't,
Okay.
that sums it all up pretty accurately.
I did not have this on your workshop agenda because we were waiting for a release to be provided. The applicant's engineer recently switched engineering firms and left Wilkinson Apex and is now working for McCarthy Engineering, so these plans will now be back before you with McCarthy Engineering, and Wilkinson provided us a release in the meantime for that work and their proprietary information. So for Chestnut Hill subdivision, you just want to put them there, as you said? Right, a conditional, for both, we'd be requesting a conditional preliminary plan approval, subject to the comments remaining in the January 31, 2025.
Make that motion.
Yeah, it's like.
What was the motion?
Conditional preliminary plan approval, subject to the comments in the January 31, 2025 letter.
And after we talked about at the workshop session, as I recall.
No, this one we did not. And the reason for that was, at that time, I did not anticipate getting the release from Wilkinson so quickly. The last thing that I really wanted to do was approve this and then have a.
And you found that to be in order, obviously, so.
Correct. This wording was reviewed by our.
I'll make that motion.
Oh,
okay, I'm sorry, I vote yes.
You're set.
All right, roll call, Mr. Joy.
Yes.
Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Bittler.
Yes.
No, vote yes. So is that covering both the subdivision and lot 1? Yep. The next item I have for you is D under our report. This is the Durnall subdivision plan. This is a lot line revision plan for residential lots which were located out of Hay Creek Road. I believe we have somebody from Greg Boge's office, and I apologize, I forget your name.
Shadow,
Here to represent that plan. Again, this is a lot line revision. One of the lot lines has some improvements, residential improvements that had encroached on that line, and this is a plan to basically relocate that line to get rid of the encroachment. The Planning Commission recommended final plan approval for that. Those plans are here before us this evening. Their only condition was that the applicant agreed to record the deeds. If you recall, we had a discussion on that, and he agreed to do so at the Planning Commission meeting in accordance with their request. So That's for you here this evening. Again, that will be a final plan approval conditioned upon, I'd probably make it 2 conditions. The deeds being recorded as agreed to and payment for any outstanding invoices that are forthcoming to the township.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman, if you're looking for it, unless there was some presentation. I think we're familiar with what you need.
1 second.
Okay, if you don't need, there's nothing else you wanted to show us or anything?
No,
That is good.
pretty much he summed up
All right, so
everything.
we have a motion, a second, so roll call, Mrs. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Okay. The next plan is for the Old Hickory Buildings subdivision and land development plan. This is the tract that is across from Penske here on Route 10. The plan proposes 2 industrial type lots, one of which will be used to construct sheds and the other one to provide the roofing materials that are
Correct.
used to
The
build.
metal materials, yes.
So the planning commission reviewed this and they recommended a conditional preliminary plan approval subject to the January 3, 2025 letter that was in my report.
Anyone like to make a motion for that conditional plan approval?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, Mrs. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
I believe that's all I have for you. We're hoping to get some oil and chip projects back before you in the next month to get those running as well. We're about a month or so behind on those because we're closing out 2024, which ran late into the season. We've done that. That has been closed out with PennDOT, so we are ready to move on. And we'll get that in front of you in the next report.
All right, thank
If I
you.
can call on you, but go ahead, Howard.
Old Hickory is split between Union and Robeson, is it not?
Kumaro.
Correct.
So where are the buildings gonna be built? Or is this gonna be another deal where we do all the work and somebody else gets the tax base?
I don't have the plan before me, but I believe,
Both the lots
Both.
have, each township has a building. So,
So we're getting posed on this deal again.
take a look at
I think you guys need to start making this stuff conditional upon we receiving the tax base if we're doing this work. Our township is more than the expense of this,
But that's
reviewing
not,
this plan
that's
and
not
else.
unrealistic, Harold. What you're asking doesn't seem unrealistic.
What's
What do
that?
you mean? I said what you're asking doesn't seem unrealistic.
Well, I agree, but somehow or another we have to draw a line in the sand with other municipalities.
But before it comes to us, don't you think they should have been looking at that?
Well, okay, but now we're gonna get that, where does the county, what does the
No, I don't
county
mean
do?
the county, I meant,
No, you mean the planning commission?
yes.
Yeah.
They should think about it in that respect too, though.
So I don't know how this is gonna float out, but once again, this is another deal where the residents of Robin Township are paying the benefits of another municipality.
No, we don't know that for sure necessarily.
Oh,
For this
we
one.
do, because who are they gonna
For this
call when they have a police or fire problem?
Are the houses built in the other
Or the,
towns?
one will be built in Robinson, one will be built in Conroe. So, I'll be willing to bet you the call sheet goes to one. They're not gonna split those 2 buildings up.
All right, if you wanna verify which, you can check it out.
The other thing is there is the earned income tax that we get a share of.
So basically how those, those run card maps work is the address of the property. So if there's one entrance, well, so you gotta look at, I've run through this, where the end of the driveway meets here, that's in Robeson. The house is back here, sits in Union, the Union Township address. So we actually had an instance where there was an incident at the end of that driveway. Actually involved Robeson PD and handcuff that jammed a couple of years ago. And they called for assistance, and we were questioning why Birdsboro Union Fire Department was sitting on Hay Creek Road by Furnace Road, helping Robeson PD. And it's because the address given was for the house that sat in Union. So,
And when you get to the edges, it's a little.
But that's also something we can drive.
yeah, correct.
No, we fix that.
So you're not incorrect,
The
it's just.
taxman is the one we
Weeks out.
can't seem to get a grip on. We have a business in Robeson Township who pays all his taxes to Brecknock. But unions, I mean, the Robeson stuff with all of the police coverage, fire coverage and everything else.
We ended up with that in more than one place.
Well, it is, but I'm just saying, somewhere you gotta figure this out and draw a line in the sand. And, you know, either you agree to be in one township or the other, and we don't.
Not utilize services of one and pay the other one.
Anything else, Ronnie? That's all I have.
At one time, we were actually doing the boundary, survey, and that seemed to fall into the wayside too.
Well, that was years ago, it was gonna cost, if you did the whole, you had to do the whole township, it was gonna be like 20.
Yeah, well, I thought they had come to some consensus that they could do that line.
And then it was gonna, I think it was cost too much, and then the other municipalities didn't wanna.
It cost too much and nobody wanted to join in and make it a.
Yeah, once again, they don't wanna give up the revenue.
Yeah, so it's. All right, Solicitor London.
All right, thank you, good evening. First item under my agenda is the settlement agreement and release of the litigation Bittler versus Robeson Township number 5-24 CV 2177 in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. And this agreement was signed by Supervisor Bittler on January 23rd, and it was agreed to between counsel for Supervisor Bittler and Insurance Defense Counsel for the township. And I'll need a motion to approve the settlement agreement and release. Part of the term of that is the repeal of sections 1B and 1I of Resolution 24-06. The enforcement had already been suspended by the preliminary injunction, but it needs to be repealed. So I think we should first approve the settlement agreement and release, and then there should be a motion to repeal those sections pursuant to the release.
So you want to set up an agreement for the settlement of the Bittler
Motion.
litigation?
Right, motion to approve the settlement.
Motion to approve the settlement of the Bittler litigation.
Yeah, motion to approve the settlement agreement and release.
And release.
Yes.
You making that motion, Joy?
Yes.
All right, do we have a second? I'll second, roll call, Mrs. Joy,
Yes.
Mr. Gallo,
Yes.
Mr. Bittler,
I'm abstaining from the,
and I'll vote yes.
Okay, and the next should be a motion under this resolution to repeal sections 1B and 1I of Robeson Township Resolution 24-06.
Anyone like to make that motion?
Make the second part. To repeal 1B and 1I of 24-06 of the Robeson.
Do we have a second? And I'll second, roll call, Mrs. Joy, Mr. Gallo,
yes.
Mr. Bittler,
Abstain on that vote.
oh, yes.
All right. All right, the next item is the Pennsylvania Municipal Services Contract Update. I have reviewed the proposed agreement from PA Municipal Services. Just had a couple of comments which I had emailed to the board and manager. The first being the question regarding a bond, because they have provided a bond to Geigertown Area Joint Authority under their agreement, and should give us the same. And the second was regarding a modification to the proposed ordinance, which I made the modification to their proposed ordinance because the proposed ordinance that they gave us was simply as a collector of delinquent sewage user assessments. And if we would be retaining Pennsylvania Municipal Services, we would be doing so as a collector of both current and delinquent assessments. So those were the comments I have as far as the sample agreements that were provided to us. Does anyone have any questions about my comments or about the draft ordinance?
That we just received, correct?
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, just literally a few hours ago.
Earlier today, yes.
Right, so.
9:41 a.m.
Yes.
9:41 a.m.
That will be correct.
I'm gonna look at that closely and, be in a position, I think, next month to better discuss it.
Well, now, the two questions though, I think the bond thing makes sense, right?
Yeah, and the other is simply a modification to the proposed ordinance, which I think was in order, but yeah, give me questions between now and the,
Yeah, I didn't
March
read anything
meeting.
about it, I didn't read it.
Because the
You didn't
idea,
read it? No.
yeah, the idea is for it to begin in July, so we have some time.
I want to add, one of the things under that contract, and so someone please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that we will not be able to accept any billing at that, once we go to that service, we would not be able to accept any billing, which means we are going to remove the sewer drop box that we have out in front of the building before, very close to that billing date. So that we just want all the residents to understand, we're not here to accept those because we cannot be part of that billing process.
There are going to be residents who are upset, especially older people who are used to bringing them in there. So we'll just have to be real soft about it.
Are they all receiving a notice of the change?
Well, we can certainly draft a letter, I think that'd be appropriate, and just say that, look, this is what's going to happen, this is what we implement. I suggest we send that out with our next billing notice, which will be at the end part of April. And I can draft that letter for us and have that ready for signature of the chair, I believe is most appropriate.
Yeah, that would be the best way to avoid any confusion as far as who is the exclusive agent, because it is an exclusive agreement.
And we can send a reminder, I would recommend a reminder then about a month prior to the actual implementation of PAMS then, only because there might be some small changes in there, but this at least will be a warning letter, if you will, to them, so.
Okay, Old Hickory, that was, that's been addressed under the engineer's report. The next is M3 Explo LLC conditional use application. That is going to be advertised for the March meeting. Under the township ordinance, owners of property within 500 feet will need to be notified 15 days prior, so those notices will go out before March 3rd, and it is also going to the Planning Commission meeting scheduled for March 3rd for their review and opportunity to comment prior to the hearing. So that, was that authorized for advertisement at the workshop meeting?
It was.
Okay, then I think no further actions needed, that's informational. So unless the board has any questions, that's all I have under my report.
You're right here.
That here is the explosive pumper?
Hertzler's. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old Hertzler, yeah.
Larry?
Good evening, board. Only thing I have is we were able to secure 150 ton of salt through the county's emergency contact with salt, that is through ChemLab. We're sitting pretty good on salt. I got 150 ton from them. That was at $150 a ton, and then I was also able to get 150 ton of salt through Metro Salt, which is in Ole, at $135 a ton. I would have gotten more, but I was capped off at that 150 ton mark, so I filled the bin with the remaining 150 ton from ChemLab.
Hopefully, winter goes away soon. All I can say.
Just a reminder, board, we are required, for the 100 ton that we did receive from PennDOT, that will have to be returned to them. So right now we have that on hand. We're gonna see here into March, probably mid-March, before we make a decision and pull the trigger to return that 100 ton at this point in time. I think we have 30 days, so it's gonna be around that time for mid-March. It will be prior to our next board of supervisors workshop. So I'll do that with Barry and we'll pull the trigger when we have to. And I believe it will be a softball back to them, yes.
It will.
Anything else?
Oh, yes, I totally forgot with all the wind and all the craziness. We were able to go down yesterday and make the purchase of the new pickup truck. That will be fully in service as soon as the lights and all that blankety stuff that's on there that's required, so.
And There was a winning bid on, municipal bid for our 1999 GMC. So the township received 11,200 for that. And that transfer occurred this morning with the new one.
That's pretty good money for that.
It was
Absolutely, it was great.
That's really good money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a very successful story for us, and certainly those are things we can put to other good uses here in the township.
I think that's better than we did with the Sterling.
Like the style.
Yeah, actually,
And we didn't have to go through this one home.
yeah, didn't have to go back after it, an hour after it left here.
Following support, those things just came up within the last 2 days. We had to work some things around to get them in. So, all right, nothing new in Park Rec EAC unless there's any new business. There's no change to old business or.
No, the old business, the only thing I would wanna say was, we talked about social media, Facebook, all that stuff last month or whatever we did it. I mean, at some point, I still think the office staff should start to do more things with social media.
Agreed.
And, actually, right now, why don't I just make a motion that we authorize the office staff to, work with the social media, the Facebook pages, make more of an, footprint out there.
Do we have an official Facebook
Yes.
page? Is it the one you originally
Yeah.
started way back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think the intent in that.
But if we have the staff.
Right.
So I'll make a motion, the staff gets control of all that stuff and can intertwine everything. And then advertise the meetings, advertise events, advertise police stuff, advertise Halloween, trick or treat, Halloween, whatever.
We'll link those two to make sure that we're feeding into each other.
Any updates, any road updates, any whatever, just so it's a better, and I was going to the PSATS meeting, every year they have a award for who has the best social media presence, and I forget who it was a year or so ago. And I wanted to look that up and then actually see what they're doing, because, they get the award, because how much stuff did they put out there?
I will say, I think in many cases, as you know, we posted up some winter weather updates. They go to our webpage. We do ask them, and I really appreciate the members of the board that have participated and others that have pushed those out through social media. Our police department has as well. But it will be very advantageous for us to be able to do it.
Because
right
even though
from
the
our
people that
office.
can look at Facebook can go on the website, they don't do that, so.
Correct.
I mean, they have a computer, they're doing it, but they're not doing it. So, I made the motion to start that whole, with our staff.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
Hold on.
I'd like to say I appreciated the police posting on the Crime Watch site.
Yes.
The events that happened over the last couple of days, because I received notifications.
Yes.
I do not look at Facebook.
Yeah, and that, you'll still get that, but, all right, so I made a motion for that.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Mr. Joyce. Mr. Gallow.
Yes.
Mr. Bentley.
Yes.
I'll vote yes. So, executive session, I guess we should go into executive session for a few things.
Let's do it.
So we will go into executive session at 7:56.
Oh, yeah, I have something for it, and actually,
An active purpose?
yeah. Doesn't get too, you'll get a
You
word.
said you wanted to, you could just raise another thing or something. If you wanna give me some, but you're gonna have to leave it
Thank you, then.
I'll lose it. I already did one, they're in the back of my truck.
So we'll have that.
Okay, so now they've approved it, and the planning commission has approved it. I don't think that I should be providing you now, I don't think I have. How are you doing? A letter that says.
I'm getting there.
I don't know where, but I'm getting there. And then what I would do is I'd maybe that in the conference room or wherever, I'd letter right next to them, and I would send all these guys an email or a text or however they want to get the information.
Last time we
So they can fill the journal, they need signed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's been one.
If you'd like to. I just, if I were them, I'd sign those plans, I would want something there that tells me.
Like,
Yeah.
you're doing the right
Yeah,
thing.
so usually I'll generate a letter, has the revision date on it, it'll be.
Was it the
And,
PA1 football
you know,
thing?
these plans are
That's
happening.
Oh.
Alright, I'll get that on then tomorrow.
And then what we should, Sheila, once we have them on file, we should talk and make sure that myself and Joan and whoever might have billed to this job has given me all the bills. It's not uncommon for me to run like an interim one so that they can talk with me. Because once we give these to them, they're not coming back to us.
I went on Sunday.
To get out of jail pass?
Yeah.
I didn't get home till
Alright,
Wednesday.
actually, get that done tonight.
Consulting, taking some trees.
Thursday afternoon, I have a meeting at the office with that.
Okay. Don't matter, you tell me. Yeah. Actually, we started doing some pipe marking out in inventory today. After I was disappointed that we weren't getting snow tomorrow night into Thursday. Actually, yeah, because when they first called it, it was like 16 inches. I was like, yes, finally something worth it. Yeah.
It's back on for those.
Is it? How much?
How much?
Little to no.
That's
And it's only 40%, so.
Yeah.
You want more than that.
That sucks.
I want the little 3-inch storms.
I agree, I thought we were.
Listen, I was looking forward to not seeing you for a few days.
Those little stupid storms are a nuisance.
They take more time to deal with.
Yeah, and more material, which is why everybody's having the problem we had.
Yeah.
We're good now, not over.
We have 100 and.
You guys need a bigger salt thing like what they built.
We're good. I would like to spec out 2 of them.
Ours is.
One here and then one up at the.
I think ours is 60 by 60.
Yeah, that thing there is about half of
And
them.
it's no wall.
Oh, don't go back and look at it. The backside goes like this, like literally.
That's how our old salt shed was.
It's bad. I mean,
We rehabbed our old one in more storage. I think ours is 60 by 60.
Hey Barry, is that new truck diesel or gas?
the pickup,
Yeah.
it's gas.
What were you thinking?
Actually, I mean, it makes sense with the way,
You don't
Because-
run diesels enough.
yeah, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, like my truck's diesel. But with these trucks sitting along the road and idling, they're clogging the PTF filters, you're looking at $6
No,
grand
no,
per
it's
filter.
fine. Trying to get something out here.
Because we said, we
But
think
the
that our trucks
register's
idle
fast.
95% of the day, we're not.
And that's what, he's like, I'm telling the officer, and I understand what you're saying.
Christmas lights only on the rail
Yeah, I
fronts
mean,
are all
like double
green, and
these
I'll
diesel motors
leave them
forever
on to
since
the end of the
DEF
month.
came out.
Keep
And
them
I'll
up there,
start-
batteries stay there,
He's
it's
like,
great.
Well,
They
well,
metal,
that's pretty easy.
everybody's going to the gas.
Yeah.
He said,
You get 2 months out
he
of
said, I'm
it.
telling
Don't
you,
too much, Lloyd.
yep, they idle just way too much.
It takes so long to put them
Because
up, I
I was
hate to
looking,
take them down.
they had
And
a
I
diesel
love to
one down
see
there,
the
but it also-
lights in the snow.
15 grand more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep them up to the end of March,
I keep them
So,
up too.
how much you got for the tree?
I wait till it's warm
We're
weather
gonna
and
run
I
that into
sweat.
the dirt and then take it down to Alleganyville.
Oh.
I hate to do anything to it now, cause it literally like took past inspection 2 months ago and needed tires.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do? We need the truck. There's 5 of us.
You gonna put a plow on this thing?
Where's your puppy? Your dog?
I actually got a quote for a plow.
My
I
dog,
got-
I had her to the vet today and they.
So
gave
it's
her
already, it has a
3
plow prep package on it, so it has a 6,500 pound front
It's
axle.
just prolonging the
Which is
inevitable, but
Really?
I
Obviously
like
for
her.
plowing and all that
So
stuff.
far, it's
Um,
not
we'll
affecting her
see.
that much,
I mean,
but
the only downfall to it is,
It's
I
too
give
big,
her
it's too long.
one medication.
well, I mean, it'd be alright to do intersections.
I give her 2
You know, we have
medications in
huge
the
snow.
morning.
These parking lots,
Yeah,
In the evening,
We'll-
it's
we'll
the
see.
same
I
medication,
just-
but I give it
for
12
the
hours
price that they want
apart.
to put the
So,
plow on, it's like,
and
Did you?
you know what, I mean, it
she's on.
usually doesn't get any cheaper as you go.
I know,
We take her out.
Buy an
to the vet
aftermarket
twice a
bill.
week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Although, all they
And
do is
they
send them
give
out to
her
plow
an
shop.
IV,
yeah, V plow.
and that's
Yeah.
helping too, so.
Now, that's a double cab with 8-foot bed?
Yeah, she's
Double cab with 8-foot
she's
bed?
good.
Yeah.
It's
So
a,
it is a little long,
yeah, a little bit.
yeah. But it's not like right now, if we, just say we go to like, LTAP tours or something like that. Before this, we would've had to take three vehicles, you know, because there's five of us. Well, nobody wants to sit in the middle, you know? Plus, some of the trucks don't have that option. You know, so it's,
Yeah.
And it's not like you don't have any leg room in the middle.
What,
well, not only that, I mean, like, the 550, you can't flip the center because that's where all the controls are
gave
for
him
the,
money to put a
for the
plow
salt
on it,
spreader and stuff.
and he keeps it at my
You know,
place.
the other one, the pickup now, I mean, if
So
you
I
put another
use it to
person in it,
plow
it'll
out,
probably
like,
just
you know,
break
my
anyway.
lane.
Is there any seat left in it?
Yeah.
In the,
So that worked out
Pick
well.
That's good.
very little. Not much.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Some shreds of
my driveway
former.
is
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, so we'll.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, like, we were trying to give her help, but she just wanted to stay still for us.
You only read
But out
emails.
there, she's,
Well, you're done.
here's
He said when he does it.
Holland, yeah.
He says he doesn't get stuff, then we'll go look and it's like, oh, no, I didn't see it. It's there.
I know we gotta do something down at the bottom.
My wife believes firmly in that. Our house like she likes it for plow. Here's,
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
oh, that's nothing.
That's, I mean,
I think
Did you watch these?
here's Holly when she was getting her IVs to her foot.
I don't care, I'm open for that and everything.
Yeah.
She's handling it well.
Here's what I was throwing. I used a snowblower, I fixed it up, did the driveway with that. That was before that was the first snow. That's this year.
And we come back into session at 8:05. We did executive session, discuss some personnel issues. Alright, if there's no further business, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:06?
Adjourn at 8:06.
Do you have a second? All in favor?
We have checks and we have resolutions.
She's here. Get some sleep. That is yours? That's right. It's always multiple versions, that's right.
Oh, plans, yes. Ryan, these plans for,
We're gonna put a letter with them and then call these guys to sign.
okay, that's fine, so we'll hold those.
So many.
And we can start that. You go, send them over. Or I'll do them, send them.
That's fine, that's what I'm doing.
Just send them over like that, I'll. Uh-oh. I was trying to read what they were.
That's, my house is up here, I have an 800-foot driveway.
Oh, okay, that's
And,
the Christmas
and what I
lights.
did was the Christmas lights, I still have them, but I don't have the
Oh, you know
diesel
where-
lights on.
Yeah.
Is there a missing check here?
I changed the old one to
There were
bright
96,
green.
97, 99.
For the Eagles.
Right.
And I still
And this
run
is
it
in
to
your,
the end of the month, and then I'll see if any
Okay, so-
Pennsylvania teams are in the.
No, I was making sure we-
what is it,
We didn't cross one
the,
out.
basketball tournament.
Okay,
And,
yeah.
and this section of lights is all programmable.
Doctors think it's killing me here.
Come on, how are
I
It's the
have,
Lucille
I have
Ball
an
thing.
Apple iPhone for, my life.
Yeah, I do.
Pretty much.
Maybe I should just let you go and come back.
I'm trying to get these
White
three or four ahead.
color that you found. Oh, is that, what is that?
The
What dog
doctor's
is that?
I'm gonna slip a prescription in there real quick.
Good luck.
Oh.
No,
It's
it's
all these
it's
things.
fine. Yeah,
No, it's,
they could.
Quick.
Oh, but
I'd rather,
She's
you
saying
know, they'll be in the,
Yeah, I had-
and
I had-
then everything's in front of them and those are just
Yeah.
Looking for this doing
I was
this.
just looking for like Adderall, and I need to sleep, I need to go to work.
Oh, your cat? Oh.
Need to hit somebody.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. I also.
Back to bed.
Good night, folks.
I guess wind's leaving tomorrow
I
night.
already was told if it snows, I gotta do the drive.
I was wondering
Is it gonna-
if you
is it gonna
could
snow
tap
tomorrow
in for
night?
that one. Because there's four-wheelers up at my place, I was expecting a call. If you get plowed out, come down and plow me out.
I'll send Tyler, it'll be fine.
Oh, my, yes. Oh, yeah. There's the first historic group is gonna do an article, just for the group on my dad being in the group. I don't know.
Is this just one?
I do, I remember that, yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely remember talking about that.
Yeah, it's, but I've been sharing with Peterson.
Same one, just a second copy.
Pictures and stuff that we have.
Do you need another one? There we go.
There's just the one there, and then, the rest of it must have got their statements and the resignations.
Time for a new one, that's what happens.
Yeah, minus Jeffrey, who's
And
the
Scott. This is the fee schedule we passed last.
Yeah.
You and Scott sign that.
Yeah.
Which I need to also put down here. for
Yes.
Yeah, but anyhow, Todd Peterson is the chair of that group. He made it the first for the old first for a while, which is the, from the opposite side.
Yes.
Municipal, the regular buildings, that's on the other side. We meet there once a month on a Saturday, and, we go with town stuff, so. Yeah, hopefully we can, do this again next year.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so, yeah. I'm coming, to have our teams as contenders and postseason on a regular basis. All those years it wasn't happening.
Yes.
I agree.
Yep, perfect. Enjoy signing those.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, some of my posts are.
No, I did not bring those.
And I know. What? Self-pro?
I know.
I mean, in the past, it's kind of been for a certain amount of marketing and use it. And there's some that I kind of like, I put some of, like, for example, the.
So, actually, you're on, I didn't know sending an email,
Yeah,
you're top of it pretty well, but,
stuff and stuff for
I got
council sale, absolutely. But then
I'm
there's
sure
something
I'm
like,
gonna
my neighborhood Christmas party, or my neighborhood Super Bowl party.
One of them was 11 p.m. to 9. But it
People-
sounds like
That's the one
most.
people remember.
Not much
People
earlier,
remember
yeah.
all
We
the
ended
ones
up,
that
so
bags
the
of
two
lights
trees
on
that we had
every
went down
floor.
Cyrano.
That's
The
one.
one by Powell, the trees, probably rare.
I was actually working that night.
Oh, we're
I
not.
was call, I was just trying to put that in, and I saw
But
it.
it's, but it's,
Yeah,
but
they
mine
were,
is that
all
it's
of that,
bagged
but,
perfectly.
so those were pretty large, I mean, they were massive trees. My buddy pulled out of my place on Sunday. and
Yeah, I post some,
literally
I post some of that stuff, I did
Turned right
year-end
on the hill there, and
video.
he said it was massive.
So you picked it, you know,
You see the two actions on 24.
and